Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Jackson. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and today we're going to talk about a kind of heavy but important topic, which is self-care while experiencing loss. Like how to take care of yourself after you've experienced a loss or experienced grief. Now we know that we have all experienced some type of grief during this pandemic, and that is definitely, been a range, a spectrum, of loss, right? Some have lost their jobs, some have lost on experiences, have lost relationships, and have lost loved ones as well. And that continues to unfortunately occur. And so how do we take care of ourselves? And there's some different realms and how that looks to show up for us. And so we're going to kind of jump into it. But before we do, of course, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe. As we got some good stuff going on, I want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and getting and getting the information we need in order to manage our health, our mental health. Okay. All right. So the first realm that we experience, or that we need to take care of ourselves, rather, is our physical realm, right? We need to manage and take care of our bodies. When we are experiencing grief, oftentimes our motivation is depleted, and it is. There's the normal urge that you would have to take care of yourself on a regular basis it's just not there. It's really not there. And so it takes extra work to do things that you would just instinctually do. And so just reminding yourself and pushing yourself to do things that you would normally do, like sleep, hygiene, making sure you're hydrated, drinking water, and eating regularly. All of these things are things that sound so simple, but when you're grieving, are a lot. They're a lot. A lot of people experience sleep disturbance through grief. A lot of people experience a lack of appetite during grief, and so to make yourself eat when you are not hungry at all, it is a chore, but it's really important to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. So the next realm of how we take care of ourselves while we're grieving is the emotional realm. It's super, super important that we take time to feel our feelings. We express our feelings, we process our feelings, and remember the memories of it. It is truly a challenge to feel the feelings. Oftentimes, in our brains are, again, we're very protective. They could be purposely even blocking us from feeling our feelings, kind of compartmentalizing or numbing the pain because it's so painful, or even be in a space where you're in a state of shock or denial because the pain is of what is truly happening is so severe. And so making sure that you're doing the work to process and feel your feelings and express them. And there's some unique ways. There's a grief map. Grief mapping is a great way, and I'll show an example of that. I have my own grief map up, and you'll see there's pictures there of memories. For those of you who haven't watched the video of my grief journey, but you can check that out. But this is for my dad, what I created, and it is just kind of an example of how you can process it. Think of the emotion, and then the thoughts that come up from the emotion that may be attached. You might be sad, and then, okay, what are the reasons why I'm feeling sad, or why am I angry? Why am I in a place of even acceptance? Because acceptance is even too a part of grief. And sometimes there can be some guilt there for having acceptance and peace about especially in the passing of a loved one. But it is truly a necessary part of grief. And so that's just an example, but we know there's tons of ways to express your feelings, whether it's talking with someone, journaling, or even with a friend, to make sure you're working through all of this, because grief is so complicated. Just speaking from personal experience, grief is so complicated, and so you need to have a space to kind of process it and talk it out. Okay, really important. So the next realm of how we take care of ourselves when we're experiencing a loss is our cognitive realm, our mind. We need to take time to organize our thoughts. It can get really jumbled up there. It can get really jumbled, and we are most of the time having conflicting thoughts and competing thoughts. And so taking time to attend to all of them. And setting realistic goals, or resetting. Before the loss, we may have had a goal and then had to readjust that goal. One of the things for me, I'll just be transparent, before I had even just the idea of setting out this, putting forth my YouTube channel and putting out my content. It was supposed to be one date, and then my grandmother passed, and so I had to readjust and set some realistic goals for myself, so that I could still hold true to what my goals were, but to also give myself some time to kind of process everything that was happening. Okay, and then when we also I won't say recommend, but take caution about making big life choices and big life decisions within the experience of a loss, because that when you're grieving, sometimes the motivations behind your choices and your decisions can be a little cloudy, and so you want to make sure that when you're making a decision, that you're making a decision for the right reason, and so making sure that you give yourself time to do so. Okay. The next realm of how we take care of ourselves in grief is the social realm. We need people. We do. So we need to, one, though, recognize that our social circles will change. It's not even a might. They will change. There'll be some distance. There'll be maybe friends that you lose, and there may be friends that you gain because of that. And so being able to accept that fact and recognize and cope with that while you're coping with your grief. I know it's complicated and heavy stuff. Also finding grief support, connecting with maybe grief support groups, and finding places to share, because grief needs to be witnessed. It does. It's heavy. It's a heavy thing, and so it needs to be witnessed, and it needs to be witnessed in a place where it feels free to share. And then also remembering that other people are also grieving that same person or thing, and so how they're showing up may be shifting, and so that might impact your relationship with them, because oftentimes when people are grieving, it tends to shift how they respond and act, and so giving each other grace and space to cope, to grieve, and knowing that person may not be showing up as who you, more how you want them to, but they're also hurting and need support as well, and so being mindful of that. The last realm is the spiritual realm. We need to definitely have a space in your home. It could be in your home or wherever you locate, to have a space that is sacred, in a mourning space. Some people have pictures up of their loved ones in a certain area where they sit and just spend time with them and commune with them. It's truly a part of their belief system, and can truly be a part of how you help it move through the grief journey and the grief process. Starting the day with meditation, prayer is very important. That can help to center you, and even ending the day with meditation and prayer can help you to guide you to hopefully get back to your natural rhythm of sleep. right? Some people organize like a tree planting in the memory of that person, or name a star, or do something that's going to like help them know that that person is like living on, or in their memory, and that they are planting this in their legacy. That can definitely be a part of how they grow. Some people keep the plants that they're given from the funeral and help to nurture and water that, and that's also a part of the grieving process. And then also starting a grief journal. It's very, very important to help, again, you process everything that you're going through. It's needed. It is needed. Super needed. Just want to help remind us that grief is a normal response. It is actually a normal response to how we experience and respond to loss. And so grief requires grace, and grief is a part of life. And so hopefully you'll take some time to take care of yourself if you are experiencing grief, and give yourself grace in order to do so. If you have not, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below about your grief journey and where you are, where you would like to get started in your self-care journey. And thank you so much for watching. You take care and be blessed.